pro boxing fans, here with none other than the Cobra, the legend, Carl Froch. Carl, listen, we just finished a good fight night. Chris Eubank Jr performing, showing a bit of his skills that he's sort of got with Roy Jones Jr. What did you make of his performance on the night?
Yeah, I thought it was a good performance, took his time, and it was in against a tricky, awkward opponent, decent little boxer mover, and when they're moving so well, they're difficult to catch and tag. So yeah, I was impressed with his performance. Good finish as well. Well, he pulled out, didn't fancy it. A couple of them body shots got swallowed up around the rib cage, and he sat down in this corner and thought, maybe I'm in the wrong sport because I'm not enjoying this.
Listen, you've been at the top. You fought at the top. How far do you reckon Chris is to find the big boys, the Charlos? You know, you look at Arizona Laura's, them sort of boys at the top.
So he needs to do it soon because, and I think he's got the ability to.
Yeah.
He just lacks that amateur pedigree from his early years. But he's improving all the time. He's got Roy Jones in his corner, as you mentioned, and that's given him a massive boost in his career, if you like. He's thinking now on his feet. He's having a look at openings. Sometimes he's trying to be too smart and a bit too clever. But when it comes down to it, and he's reacting subconsciously, he knows what he's doing. He's good. Body shots, head shots. He's tough. And he puts combination punches together. He's exciting, and that's, you know, he's not a massive knockout puncher. Not one punch concussive knockout man, but he punches hard enough to get the respect. And because he's so tough and fit, he's got a high work rate when he lets the shots go. That will be enough at the top level, I think. And the Demetrio Andrade fight will be a tough one, awkward, but one that I'd like to see Jamal Charlo. But I like the Triple G fight.
That's a good fight.
I mean, I don't want to write Triple G off and say he's way past his best, and that's the only reason that Eubank beats him. But you know, a prime Chris Eubank Jr. against a prime Triple G is a tough fight for Eubank. The fact that he's just past his best, I think, be a good scout for Eubank Jr.
It's a shame we never got to see it, because that was looking like it was going to happen at one point as well, wasn't it?
I know it was, yeah. And I don't think it will do.
It's probably the wrong person to ask, but because you were with Rob McCracken for so long, how long does it take for a trainer and a fighter to really gel and for that fighter to show off all the skills that the trainer saw?
I don't know. I was with McCracken my whole career, and before that I was with a guy called Dale McPhilbin, who's my amateur career, for my amateur career, for my whole career, except for when I boxed for England, because then you get the England coaches on your case, messing up your style. But Rob McCracken was my coach for my whole pro career, so we gelled from pretty much day one. We worked together in London for a few months before we then turned pro. I probably had a year actually with Rob before I actually turned pro. So I'm probably someone bad to ask, because you want to ask someone who's changed the training and then change. But they're working well together, Chris Eubank and Roy Jones. Imagine having Roy Jones in your corner.
Crazy, isn't it?
Imagine that.
Crazy,
amazing,
mad. Savannah Marshall, absolutely terrific. Just give me your assessment on the performance.
I thought it was brilliant. I mean, she showed composure under pressure early on. She was just cool. Took her time, picked her shots, weathered a bit of a storm. Didn't go too mad, didn't get too excited or carried away. And then in round two, she's picking the shots perfectly, body, head, and she was poised, waiting, and then picking that combination on the ropes, body, head, and then another right hand. It was quality performance from Savannah Marshall. I used to train with her in the England squad about 10 years ago. I can remember watching sparring. She was always a bit reserved and boxing within herself and a bit shy and nervous, like me when I was an amateur. You know, I was nervous sparring. I used to make a big deal of it all. But then when you get in there and actually fight on fight night, that all leaves you, and you can tend to put a performance on even if you're over in there. And we've seen that tonight with Savannah Marshall. She kind of turned the corner with it all, and yeah, fantastic.
Big fight for her in the future with Clarissa Shields. I think that's one of the most anticipated female fights that I've known.
Yeah, we just had Clarissa Shields on the phone there for Sky Broadcasting. She's confident, she's every right to be. She's a 3-weight world champion.
Of course.
Stepped through the weights, and she's really confident, and she wants that fight, so that's something to look forward to.
I know you need to go because I know you've got waiting for a driver, but I want to talk to you about Tyson Fury, man. The performance that he put in.
He's the king of the world, the king of boxing. He's like, I just love him. Don't forget though, I've got history with Tyson. We both signed with the promoter from London. I want to mention him. Ain't worth mentioning, to be honest. But we signed with him, and we both had a problem with him, and we both parked him up for our own reasons. And then we went on to go and do amazing things. And I've just got a lot of love for Tyson Fury. And my brother's 7 years sober now, and he's had similar problems to Tyson, mental issues. He's had the drinking, the drugs, the gambling, you know, the vicious triangle, if you like. just a vicious circle, them three all working together in sync, and it can be devastating, and it ends lives, you know. And you see Tyson Fury's in a bit of a mess, physically a bit of a mess, mentally a bit of a mess. And you look at these old videos now when you put them out, say, I'm going to come back, I'm going to beat them all, I'm going to do it. And you think, at the time, you think, yeah, right, well, good luck to you. Or, you know, you're probably over-ambitious. And anybody who thought he couldn't do it, now are just eating their words, because what he's done, I mean, just in his life in general, to turn the corner is turned, and to such an inspiration for so many people. But them 3 fights with Deontay Wilder, no one really wants to fight Deontay Wilder, because when he hits you on the chin, it's lights out. It's like game over. He's awfully horrible, Wilder. When he connects on the chin, you just get lined out, don't you? You just go over and you don't wake up for a couple of minutes, and it's fight over. And Fury got caught with quite a few digs in that first fight, got up. Second fight was a dominating performance, hammered him. The third fight was just an epic battle, and Tyson Fury climbed off the canvas, and he finds it hard to climb off the canvas because he's such a big lump, and he slowly gets up onto his elbow, rolls over to his knees, and he stands up, gets up on them big stilts of his that look slightly buckled because he's so tall, and when he's on his feet you're like, go on Tyson, you're back, and he's up on his feet and he's just light in his feet, and he fast hands, big punch. I see a little different angle where Wilder threw a body shot, a right hand to the body, and Tyson just sort of dropped down the elbow. And then the left hook came and Fury just rolled under it and then right hand on the chin, flattened him. And it was from like the ringside view on someone's iPhone. Maybe it wasn't the iPhone, maybe it was one of the proper cameras, but doing a documentary. When you watch that and you understand boxing like I do, because I've been in there, and you know what I've done. You know about the 80,000 one. You know. Like, you can appreciate it and really look at it and understand it. And Tyson Fury is fantastic. I can't sing his praises enough, and he's the king of the division. Hopefully AJ can come back after that Usyk loss. That was a bad loss, but it was a poor performance from AJ, so maybe one he can put right. Usyk, I don't think he's big enough for Fury. And Dylan White, I mean, he can be a wrecking ball when he gets it right, so maybe it's his time.
In regards to AJ though, can you change stylistically in his next fight to beat Usyk? It's going to require...
He don't have to do a great deal differently, does he? Because all he did was box and move and try and just outbox the boxer. Someone who's lighter and faster and more skillful than him. And you can't argue that Usyk's far superior skill-wise and technically better. So AJ just needs to get on him. Imagine Fury against Usyk. Yeah. Fury would lean on him, push him about, bully him, put that body shot in, hit him low and round the side and the back of the head, and just sort of ragdoll him around the ring. He wouldn't be able to cope with it. I thought that... I don't want to say too much anti-AJ, to be honest, but Derek Chisora did a better performance. He put a better performance, because you look at that and you think he won a few rounds. And you look at AJ, and although it was close with AJ, it was getting conclusively outboxed, which was a shame. So I think AJ can come back tactically, get it right, and if he gets it right, he can win. He can beat Usyk. But it's going to be difficult to come back from that loss mentally and have that belief, that self-belief in himself, to go in there and get that win against Usyk, because Usyk's going to grow from that win, and he's a proper mean motherfucker, and mentally he's strong.
Just 2 quick predictions for yourself for 2 fights coming up. Canelo versus Caleb Plant.
Yeah, good fight, but I've got back Canelo. I just think it's hard to see him get beat. He's so strong.
Who beats him? Who beats Canelo? Is it a matter of him going up to too big a weight?
Prime Cobra. I've met him, he's 5'8", too big, too strong. That fight should happen.
Last one.
Good turn back time.
Last one, the fight that's coming on to Sky Sports between Terrance Crawford, Shawn Porter. Great fight in America.
Yeah, Terrance Crawford wins that. Shawn Porter gives him a great fight, and I think it'll be brilliant. It'll be great to watch, great spectacle. Terrance Crawford's too good.
Carl, how's the podcast going? Are you still?
I've not done it for a while. COVID slowed it down and then stopped it. Fletcher, my mate, he's not, as I say, my old mate, but he's my current mate. He's one of my best mates, Dan Fletcher. We're going to get back on it. I'm back now with Sky after the COVID's calmed down. This pandemic's getting everybody down now.
So it's definitely coming back. It's not just dead in the water.
No, I think it's going to come back, because what we need to do is have a think about what we're going to do. Now I'm back in boxing, and I'm doing stuff with Sky. I'm potentially doing a bit with the Zone, maybe not. I have to speak to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn keeps threatening to get me on the show, but he don't pick his phone up lately. So I'm going to have to call him out soon on social and say, Eddie, pick your phone up. Answer my agent, Gary Smith. Return his calls, because I'm looking forward to doing a bit with his own.
Do you never feel like coming back into the ring? The money that's flying about at the top?
Mate, I'm not interested. Not enough money. You can't take it with you, can you? Yeah. So I'm the wealthiest man in the world, because I've got 3 children 100%. And I've got a wife that absolutely loves me. I adore her so much. She's a brilliant woman. And what more do you need? I've got my health. Let's be honest, mate. What's more important than health?
Carl Froch, always a pleasure talking to yourself. What a legend. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.